Our guest is comedian Dusty Slay, and Dusty grew up in Alabama and moved to Charleston, South Carolina for a long time, where you were a waiter.
Yeah, I was a waiter.
Were you a good waiter?
I think so. I was, I worked at this Hyman's 2 times, right? So the first time I worked there, I was a drinker. So I was hungover a lot. But I felt like I was, had a good spark about me. The second time around, I was older and not putting up with a lot of stuff. I felt like I knew the menu very well. So I was like, what I like to say is like a good waiter, but like not friendly kind of thing, where I'm like, I'm just going to do the job very well, but I don't got a lot of time to stand around and talk.
Those are my favorite services.
Yeah.
So you didn't do gags or bits for anybody because you were also working on your comedy at the time?
Yeah, I would carry a notepad, and I have on YouTube, I have about a 7-minute video of my waiting tables jokes that I wrote while working at Hyman's. And
Can you sample us with one of them?
I did the joke earlier about, it was located on the same block as a restaurant called Sticky Fingers, but I also said, it's owned by a family with the last name Hyman, and I was working there one day, and this lady said to me, she goes, "Oh, are you one of the Hymans?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because they named me Dusty Hyman."
I like that very much. Your first appearance on TV, you were on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Jimmy Kimmel Live 2018.
You had to be terrified.
It was terrifying. Actually, Jimmy Kimmel was very nice to me, but he came out right before I went on stage. And, the set is okay. But he comes out, he goes, "Hey, this is a weird audience, so anything you get out of them, you earned." That's what he said to me.
That's nice.
If only he had said that on air, that would be great.
Do you remember the first joke you did on Kimmel?
Yeah, I did a trailer park joke that I like and that did very well, but I'd never opened with a joke, and I just said, I grew up in a trailer park, not sure why they call it a park. We had a lot of fun, but I'm not sure why they call it a park. I've not done the joke in a long time, but I said, I grew up in a trailer park, and we had a lot of fun, but I'm not sure why they call it a park. There wasn't a lot of rides in there. We had like a slip and slide or like an old tarp with some Dawn dish detergent on it.
And then after you did Kimmel, you did Fallon like 6 months later, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Your Fallon set, I'm not trying to kiss ass here. It's one of my top 5 favorite late night sets of all time.
Well, thank you. I learned from doing the first late night, I learned how to prepare, right? So I was like practicing this 5-minute set for Kimmel without ever opening with it. So then when I was told I was going to do Fallon, I opened with that 5 minutes everywhere I went for the next couple of months or couple of weeks. And it's hard because you're doing, 45 minutes to an hour. You open with your best 5. I would come out and do that 5, and audiences thought I was the greatest comic they had ever seen. And then the next 40 minutes, they're like, "What happened to that guy?"
We're back at Hyman.
Yeah.
That's my theory in comedy. I like to end on just kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Just kind of
end with people looking at their watches. What's going on in
Your
here?
waitresses.
I'm paying a babysitter for this?
Okay.